lived in York all my life. Currently residing after a stint in prison. I'm on a long journey now in recovery, which started with me drinking to self-medicate really. I had one bad year and tried getting medical help, couldn't get medical help, so kept getting passed from pillar to post. So ended up self-medicating on the drink and drugs, got into trouble, ended up going to prison. Came out of prison last year and I was homeless for 2 weeks, so I started drinking and things again. And then ended up getting recalled a bit later on last year. And since then, I've done 15 months in recovery. Started that off in jail on the recovery wing. Did 12 months there. Come out, realised that I still needed help. So I've gone to probation and asked them to get me help. And they've passed me on to, which is a brilliant place, I think, because they're really, really helping me. They've stopped me going back to drink and drugs. They've helped me getting, because I'm homeless and don't know where to go, basically. It's specific for people that's been on drink and drugs out in the community. If you want the help in prison, they'll recommend that you go on the recovery wing to help you. It's a drug and alcohol team that run it, and they do groups like NA groups, AA groups, SMART, the 12 steps to set you off on that recovery route. It was good, but I was there when it was in COVID and we was only doing 2 groups a week, which helped, but could have done with more. But out of COVID, it's meant to be really, really good where you're doing groups all the time, and that's all that they concentrate on is groups. But the community on there is brilliant because it's all people in the same situation wanting to come off drink or drugs. But when you come out into the community, nothing like gets mentioned. It's good. That's all that you get told. But I asked my probation officer for help and she rang, got me into within a week of me being out. So probation's really, really helped me. But the housing situation, I got out on the Friday evening out of prison, came to York, oh we can't help you, nowhere's open. So I had to go all weekend sleeping on the streets until the Tuesday. I got to Salvation Army and they said, well, we'll put you in. And I've been in there 10 weeks now. I'm using that as a coping tool because people in there are on drink and drugs. And I'm looking at them and thinking, well, do I want to be there? No, I don't. So I'm using that as a coping mechanism, but it's not nice being around that environment when you're trying to do the recovery. The staff are helpful, but I don't know, they're all for me because of me being in recovery. I don't know, they seem to be helping me quite a lot because I'm trying to help myself. I'll get a bit more help and structure off them than some of the others that don't want the help. So I think they try to point people to like, but the people don't want to know, so they can't exactly force them. I've got a couple of people signing up to themselves because they've seen me how I am and thinking, well, it can work. So I've given them the phone number for, and they said that they've never ever been told about it, which is a bit of a shock really because it's part of, which is part of. So I can't understand why they don't promote it more. They actually phoned, did my probation officer, and the manager down at says, well, come in tomorrow, Tuesday, and do the pre-treatment. Went and did pre-treatment. She says, right, you can have a place on Monday. And I was ecstatic because that's what I really, really wanted. That's my journey now. But the only journey that I'm a bit rickety with is the housing, because I took my name off the council house that I had with an ex-partner, and when I took my name off the council house, the council turned around and said then, we haven't got a duty of care for you, you've made yourself homeless. We can't help you for 10 years. So it was like, well, what am I meant to do? They says, well, nothing we can do. So I was sofa surfing and living on the streets. And then my son got killed in a car accident, and that's when I went off the rails. And if it wasn't going to prison, I wouldn't be on this journey that I am now through trying to get somewhere to live. Key work, I keep saying, oh yeah, by the time you finish, which is 22nd of this month, December, you should be looking at going into shared housing. And then that was at the beginning. And now we're saying, oh well, it could be after Christmas because of the council shutting down and everything for Christmas. There's no movements or anything, so I just feel as though I'm in limbo at the moment. So I don't know what's going to happen, but people are telling me that they've been told the same and they're still in there in months and months after they've been told they'll go into shared housing. But I think with going to prison, that's helped me going onto the council. But to me, I shouldn't have had to have gone down that road of being homeless and everything. I was helping my daughter. That's why I took my name off the council property, so that they could stay there and the mum could get benefits and everything. Because if my name was still on the property, she couldn't get a housing benefit or anything because I was the main provider. So I just thought of protecting my daughter and I got punished, which is awful. It's awful, difficult. There's only really that's been brilliant, and probation service. Probation have got this sorted for me. They've got me mental health workers and everything set up. So probation's been brilliant. It's been brilliant. It's just the housing. I originally went to the council when I came out of prison that first night, and they says, well, nothing we can do, it's a weekend. I says, well, where am I meant to live? Oh, you'll have to stay on the streets for the weekend. You'll have to go down to Salvation Army. So it was dreadful. Sleeping out on the streets in January. September I came out, sleeping on the streets. I was a recovering alcoholic. So, dreadful. I did want to drink, but I was so strong that I didn't. I kept to my morals and thought, no, you don't need drink. Over 4 nights, I had about 4 hours sleep. So, it's really, really awful being kicked out of somewhere and nowhere to go. The same thing happened last year. Shelter was meant to help me in prison, and Shelter never did a thing. I came out homeless then. They were saying, well, York City Council said that when you get out, you've got to go down there. So I did that. Council was saying, well, we phoned Shelter and wanted to do a phone conference with you. You wouldn't come out of your cell, which I never heard anything about that phone conference off Shelter. So Shelter ain't very good if you ask me. So it's just getting passed from pillar to post and your life's on hold, and it isn't very good, I don't think. At the moment I'm still in, which is keeping me going to meetings. There's a mindfulness meeting last night up at Rydale Stadium. That was good. I've been passed on to mental health services, but I'm waiting for an appointment off them. 18 weeks, so they reckon, to get that going. So it's just a waiting game basically now. I'm fine, I'm feeling really good. Recovered after COVID and everything, but that took me back to my prison days, being locked in my room all the time. It's not nice, but I was protecting other people. So I said that I did really well on that, so
Thank you very much. Brilliant.
I'll do anything to try and help.